Hello guys, we're about one here, and today I am going to show you my Zing deck profile. Now, I got this corner a while back, and I thought it would be good to show you what I've done with it. Also, I've tried this in my locals, this build, and it did quite well with 3 wins, 2 losses, but the only games I lost was when I was Vanity's Emptiness with a Yugioh on board, and what you're going to do with that? You can't really come back easily from that. Neg 2, and I do really well, and I also only lost because of time on one of them, so, but all the others I won pretty easy. So this deck, I've had testing fun with it. It's quite good, and I've always found that how they swap out for each other is pretty cool. So I just thought I'd show you my deck profile today because I actually like the deck. I like the build I've made, and I haven't done a deck profile in a real deck profile like this in quite a bit. So let's get started. So for monsters, I run 3 Suwani. Now you have to run 3 Suwani because he's basically your beat stick. He's also when he's used for synchro summon, he gives the synchro monster an extra 500 attack, which is also very useful in the deck because it gives me amazing pluses for the deck. So you have to run 3 Suwani so you can just do your plays pretty well and make massive beat sticks. So 3 Suwani for that reason. And also all the Yang Zings have the ability to swap out for each other. So when they send to graveyard, you can then special summon 1 Yang Zing from deck, which is pretty good as well. Also, something else to note, all the guys that aren't tuners have the ability to synchro summon in your opponent's main phase or battle phase, which is a very good effect, seeing as you can just say they've activated a card that can't stop you from special summoning this turn. Then you can just activate it, then you can just end your turn, go into your opponent's turn, and then synchro summon in their turn. Plus, if you've still got the 3 monsters on board, then you can make something like Baxia, compose 3 cards from you during the end of main phase 2 on your opponent's turn, and then make big plays. So next, I run 3 BN, just because he's another kind of beat stick. Plus he's a monster. You really need to run like 3 of each monster. Well, almost 3 of each. Also, his effect to stop synchro monsters from being destroyed by battle is pretty good. It's pretty decent. Next, for a tuner monster, I run 3 Jiaotu. So you have to run 3 Jiaotu because he's one of the best cards in the deck. Just discarding 2, plusing to summoning 2 from deck. It allows you to instantly synchro summon, plus have all your plays for next turn, and it just helps. I'll zoom in a bit so you can get a better view. Just zoom in a bit. There we go. So yeah, you have to run 3 Jiaotu, otherwise it doesn't work as well. Plus, he's got the switch out effect. Being able to make this card is just very good, in my opinion. So next, I run 3 Bixie. You have to play 3 Bixie in this deck because he's one of your best cards in the deck. He's got the switch out ability, but the reason he's one of the best cards is because of it makes your synchro monsters immune to trap cards. So the deck can only play stuff like skill drain and other things because of Bixie. Because when you synchro summon, if the monster will be unaffected by traps, it will be able to use its effect because of Bixie's effect. So it will help the deck really well, and plus it makes the synchros just so much more powerful. Plus they're unaffected by stuff like Mirror Force, Ritual Beast Steeds, all that stuff. So this card is one of the best cards in the deck purely because it stops you from being affected by spells. Plus it's a level 2. Next I run 2 Pulao. Just run 2 Pulao because spells aren't really a problem for Yang Zings. The only big spells would probably be Raigeki, I would say. So that's why I played 2 Pulao. He's also just a monster, so I can switch him out for something like Jiaotu or something if he dies. Okay, next I run 2 Chiwen. I run 2 Chiwen because I find that 3's too much. plus this one's pretty good because he can special summon himself from grave when a worm monster is destroyed. So if I want, I can just activate his effects in grave, special summon him. The only bad part about it is that he's banished during the end of the turn, so that's the only bad part, but it's a really good card nonetheless. So you only really need 2 though, because you got the free Jiaotu, so 2's fine with this deck. Okay, so next I run 1 Teoti, I think that's how you pronounce it. Shadow the Zing. I run 1 of this because he's just a beat stick and you don't really want to draw into him. And I run 1 Zephragin. I think that's how it's pronounced. Zephraginu, something like that. I've never been able to pronounce this guy's name. I one run of him because of when he's destroyed, you search like creation, path, or anything like that. Plus, I don't want to draw into him. Whenever I tested this deck, I always drew into him, and it was just terrible drawing into this card. It's just a terrible feeling when you draw into him. So that's monsters. Let's move on to spells. Okay, so I run 3 Zing Path. I have to run this card. It's pretty much the best card in the deck purely because it allows you to recycle your Zings from grave. And without this card, and also you +2 of it, so if you've got 3 Zings in grave and you've got a small hand, then you can just activate this plus of it, and you can also recycle monsters. Because that's the one big problem this deck would actually have, recycling. If it wasn't for this card, then you wouldn't be able to play the deck as well, because you waste 3 of monster resources too quick. So Path is probably one of the best cards in the deck, purely because it allows you to recycle your Zing monsters. Okay, I run 2 MST, just for problems that get in the way and stuff. This card has helped pretty much a lot, so yeah, have to run it. 2 Dark Hole. You usually end up destroying your own monsters with this as well, but that usually helps because of their swap power effects. And also, you don't need to run stuff like Raigeki in this deck because Dark Hole is just a lot better for the deck. Next, Soul Charge. I run 1 Soul Charge just to recycle my entire grave. I can literally summon everything in the grave without no problem. Then make big synchro plays just because of it. So it's a pretty good card for the deck. So yeah, got to run Soul Charge. And those are the spells, so let's move on to the traps. Okay, I run 3 Zing Creation. Yeah, I run 3 Creation purely because you have to run it at 3. It allows you to plus when your monster dies, so you have to run it at 3 because your monster dies, you flip this, and then you +1. It's a win-win no matter what you do, so running this at 3 is a must, regardless. I run 2 Mistake, because Mistake really it doesn't hurt this deck at all, and most of the decks in the meta are hurt by Mistake, but this deck does literally have nothing against it. The only card you would actually stop in the deck would probably be this one because of its searches, but it's never actually hurt my deck before. And also it's perfect for Zings because the Zing deck never searches, so Mistake is a perfect card for this deck. Okay, next I run 2 Phoenix Chain for negation. It's pretty obvious, it's a floodgate. 2 Mirror Force, they attack, I stop their shit, don't want to deal with that. And finally for the ones, I run 1 TT just to nuke the board, same as Dark Hole. 1 Solemn Warning, you have to run Solemn Warning, all decks should run it because it negates any summon, which is amazing. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, banish anything. 1 Skill Drain, just because Skill Drain works amazing in this deck and you don't really care if your monster's effects are negated because of Pixie. So yeah, and 1 Vanity's Emptiness just to negate any special summon bullshit. Okay, so that is the last cards for the main deck. Let me show you my extra deck. Okay, so for the extra deck I run 1 Old Entity Histori. This card is literally amazing since it came out in the Mega Tin. This card, it actually won me a game because I was playing against Synchrons, and basically I had no outs. So to get out of the Quasar, I literally summoned Histori with a Bian, waited a bit, and then when I wanted to, I killed my own Basically, basically, I've used Fiendish Chain on his Quasar, used Old Entity then he negated the Fiendish Chain of his Quasar, then I used what was it? Oh yeah, I summoned a, what was it? Oh yeah, I summoned a, I believe it was a Baxia, somehow, I can't really remember. I think I soul charged it, and then I killed my Hastori, equipped it to the Quasar, but but I had a creation up as well, and with the Baxia destroying Hastori, I also used Hastori's effect to summon this from deck. So I got that effect off, and then I summoned Jiaotu from grave to summon, and then I synchro summoned for another Baxia. I compulsed 2 cards on the board which weren't Quasar. Then I used the other Baxia's effect to kill Hastori and then steal his Quasar. And I also got another monster, and I just continued to win from there because the Quasar's just sick. And summoning Quasar and getting Quasar was just won me the game because of Hastori. If I didn't have Hastori, I wouldn't have won that game at all. So this is a very good card in the deck, regardless of what anyone says. Next, 1 Herald of Arclight. This card, Herald of Arclight, is just such a good card. Seriously, you can negate. When I was testing it, I didn't run Herald of Arclight because I didn't think it would be that good. But when I played it in the tournament, it was actually really good because I could just summon it. Oh, negate, Baxia effect. Hello again. It's just such a good card in its own right. I literally didn't realize until I actually started trying it. I honestly couldn't believe it myself. So I run 1 Herald of Arclight, 1 Armides, Keeper of Boundaries. This is just generally because attack stop, you can't activate anything. It's just a very good card in general because I like attacking and they can't do shit. Really, it's just really that good. 1 Goyo Guardian. I run 1 Goyo Guardian just to rob anything. It actually won me a game against Red Eyes because I killed his Red Eyes. I killed his Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, robbed it, summoned it to my field, then he couldn't do shit because I had his monster. So Goyo's a very good card as well. 1 Moonlight Dragon. Now the Moonlight Dragon is just so good because Moonlight Dragon is literally summon, compulse. You summon, compulse. It's such a good card. I don't know why no one runned it. Why I haven't seen anyone running it, but it's very good. Black Rose for obvious reasons. Don't really need to explain. Clearwing because I don't like level 5s or higher effects going off, and I can just, they try to Castell it, I negate purely because it's just a good card in general. Yazzie, yeah, you're obviously going to run a Yazzie. He's a very good, can't be targeted, stuff like that. I run 2 Baxia. You have to run 2 Baxia. There's no you never run less than 2 Baxia. Baxia is literally your best card in the deck. You compulse free almost all the time with it. It's a very good card. You should never get rid of it. So to Baxia at 2. 1 Stardust Spark Dragon because it can negate destruction of any card. Pretty much. 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend just to nuke the board if I don't want to see monsters on my opponent's board. 1 Bills, obvious reasons. Chao Fang, mainly because I don't like to deal with Necros and stuff, so just summon this, their effects are negated permanently. The only bad thing with Yang Zings actually is because you can't summon Chao Fang with a light, because the only way you can actually do it is with the Baxia, but that's very hard to do, so it's the only problem with this deck with Chao Fang. It's very hard to summon him with a light on him. And 1 Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Tree. So guys, tell me what you thought of the Yang Zing deck profile. Tell me if you liked it, and tell me if you want to see more deck profiles. If there's any deck profiles you want to see, then just message me on my Facebook page. I will have it in the link in the description. And also, if you want to see this deck profile as just a palette, I will post that on my channel on my Facebook page as well. So guys, please like, comment, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.